Good morning. It is February 17th, 2026, and my camera seems fuzzy. Anyway, this is the first official meeting of the what we are calling IdentityBot Lab, and I fully expect it to be me talking with myself. So that is perfectly fine. What I want to do is share what the current status is of the project and what the plan is. And this will be a very quick meeting unless somebody joins and shows up. So, what's going on is I have started to convert everything over from our existing code base, and then the goal is to create the first sovereign, self-deployable. Anyone can just deploy an identity agent, and that's what I'm working on right now. And yesterday, I was working on something also that was just for fun, but actually pretty useful because as we all know, OpenClaw or Moltbot or CloudBot is popular and it's pretty hot right now. So one thing that I did is I set up an instance of which is just it's a prototyped, just a very quick example of an identity agent. So basically, it's just a server because I just wanted to create a test here. And let me just share my screen. So I am, I created this instance right here that is a test to basically run an identity agent. And then you can see right here, this is an app that is OpenClaw, and we can launch it. So now it's launching, as we can see. And then we could actually just, I guess we got to wait a little bit more, unless there is a problem. But anyway, the goal here was to create an identity agent, which is a server that manages your entire digital identity, your life, your digital life. But in this identity agent, you could install a OpenClaw. You can install any sort of app. It doesn't have to be an AI app. It could be a non-AI app. But basically, you can install an app, and then the identity agent acts as a reverse proxy so that all interactions from OpenClaw have to be routed through your identity agent, which then routes it through the policy engine that the identity agent manages. And then the whole point of this is so that you could use OpenClaw without it tearing your life apart and exposing all of your private and sensitive information. And that's what I was trying to prove. So what I did was if we send a quick test to, well, let's see if it's up and running here. Okay. So it's running. It's not connected. This is OpenClaw if you've never used it. And it's currently disconnected because I don't have it connected to anything on the identity agent side. But what I do have is I just have something that demos. If I want to, let's say I say, hey, OpenClaw, check my Gmail, like see if you can access my Gmail. So this mimics that. And then it would send a message to OpenClaw, but then it says it's blocked because it doesn't meet the policy engine, the requirement that the identity agent has. So all we're trying to do here is just prove that we can block something that is running in OpenClaw. So this sends a command saying, hey, do something, and then it's blocked because the identity agent says, oh, you're not allowed to do that. Now, I know it seems silly to have the identity agent tell it to do something it's not, but this is, of course, a test, and this would be a user or we have no idea who would be telling it to do anything. It could just decide on its own. But the thing we want to prove here is that it can be blocked because it doesn't meet the policy requirement of the identity agent. So whether you want to test reading an email or accessing Gmail, it blocks it. But then if it has a safe request, then it asks it to do something. It tries sending the request to OpenAI or whatever the LLM is of choice. But in this case, I don't have an OpenAI key in there right now, so it's not showing anything. It doesn't actually do anything. It just returned a mock response. But basically, I wanted to show that we can have a parent-child relationship where literally OpenClaw or any other app that we have in an identity agent runs in a completely isolated environment, which allows us to prevent it from just having unfiltered access to the whole world of your device, which is perfect because the whole point of an identity agent is to act as a governance layer so that it protects our rights and ensures that we are actually in control and not that a rogue AI is in control. So that's what I worked on yesterday just to prove this concept. And what I'm going to continue to work on is building out the identity agent from and transferring all the code and everything from our other code sources. So hopefully by 1 week from now, in 7 days, I will show you an updated version of what the identity agent looks like. And that's what I'm working on. So I was thinking about having, you know, structuring the open source project and getting into that, like how will it all work? But obviously, well, in our call, we had 225 or more people registered, and I don't know how many people showed up. It looked like it was at least 100, so I would say at least half of the people showed up, and then probably more viewed it after. So we had a decent turnout. Well, it's a great turnout, and I think it will get much, much better once we have the first usable application. So that's where my goal is to get it to the point where the application is running, you can run it on your own, and then we're all testing it, and then we can all contribute from that point on and build certain functionalities out. So hopefully I'll have the first version of it next week, and that's it. So being that nobody is here, which is totally expected, that will conclude our IdentityBot meeting. And oh, I guess there was one other thing, and that has to do with the name. I'm still kind of IdentityBot. So what we're creating is an identity agent, and I've thought a ton about this, and it's been like our team has thought a lot about, do we call this an identity agent? And that's exactly what it is it's an agent. You could call it a bot, you could call it an automation, but it is an agent that acts on the behalf of our identity. And so I can't think of a better way to call this, but I do like having fun with these things. And I think as we use it and stuff like that, maybe we'll come up with a different name for this project. So that's something that I wanted to say. But for those of you that ever do see this, if you have a name that you suggest, please let me know. But as we start using it, I'm sure we'll start seeing names that come up and suggested, and then we'll have fun with it. So that's all. Anyway, that is it for this IdentityBot meeting on February 17th. Until next week.